Jay, there's been an increase in violence. So we have teachers attacking students, students attacking teachers. We have an increase in mass shootings. What do you think is attributing to that?
Wow, man, that's probably one of the best questions. And I'll say something to people that I always beg other people to say. I don't know. Those three words, people are afraid to say it, man. I don't know. I really don't know. And it's so scary to not know. At the end of the day, you have a lot of things that can be attributed to that. But like to pinpoint one specific thing or a couple specific things, I don't think it's a couple specific things. I think it's just, a lot of BS has happened over the last 25 years in this country. When you're talking about schools, when you're talking about social media, you talk about guns, you talk about, all of these things have happened and it just made people change. The world is just not the same. You got to think about, you talk about schools. That was 1999. I can't say it was the first one, but the first one that we know about that was like huge, and that was Columbine. And then to now, where I'm sure that there's been hundreds, more than like couple hundred in this time frame. Not to mention the now the random ones, like because even around that time, not too long after that, a couple years later, in Colorado, wasn't the same place. I think it was Aurora or one of them, the movie theater shooting. And then it just kept going and going and going until where we are now. And it's like those bad habits that Jim Rome used to talk about. The great Jim Rome used to say, like, you eat the cake today and you don't feel nothing bad. But 10 years later, you still eating that same cake, because you don't show it. That's why we keep doing it. Because whatever we do that's wrong, the negative stuff don't come up immediately. It doesn't present itself tomorrow. It presents itself 10 years from now. And by that time, it's a habit and it's hard for you to change it. And so it's been a habit for people turning a blind eye on the gun control. It's been a habit on the far that people turn the blind eye to the negativity in our education system. Kids are just not learning. You're medicating these children. And I got a chance to see that close up when in 2020, running a virtual learning pod, it had some kids that was like very rambunctious and going crazy in my classes and stuff like that. And then we talked to the parents and we said, oh, we didn't give them their medication. I said, okay, well, they're supposed to be on medication. What's going on? Because again, I'm totally new to this. And the mother gives them the medication and you got kids asleep in the class. They're nodding, they're drooling, and they're just totally out of sorts. They having bathroom issues and it's just like, wow. And so some of these kids, it's just so much that happened over these last 25 years in the education space in this world. And I'm just going off of the things, but we can go off of food. We can go to, like I said, it's so much stuff that I don't think we got enough time to talk about. But the beautiful thing is, and I think I want people to learn from this, is that you can't say you don't know while still starting the conversation. This is where people need to chime in. This is where this needs to be a part 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. This is where we need to have real conversations. People who have other synopses or hypotheses, people who want to get better conversations going, people who got some knowledge, who's actually studying this, researching, maybe wrote books. These are the people that need to come into the fray and have these conversations so that we can actually grow, because it all starts with conversations. In our community, we always feel like it got to be all or nothing. Like, we can't save everybody, used to saving one. Like, no, one small conversation can be the thing that ignites 5 conversations, and then 10 conversations, you know what I'm saying? And then 100 conversations. Once you got 100 conversations going, you got a conference. You know what I'm saying? And once you got a conference that's going multiple times, you might have multiple conferences on multiple parts of the country. And then things can happen. But You can't just do nothing. So I don't know the answer. I don't know why, but I do know and acknowledge that something's wrong and something needs to be done.